Hello everyone, my name's David Galletly. I'm an illustrator and graphic designer. I do some animation, I do some lecturing, and I do all these things for myself. I'm freelance, I'm self-employed, and I work from a little studio in Stirling. I've been doing it full-time for around 8 years now, and a wee selection of the things I do shows kind of the variety. So there's poster design, where I'm using Photoshop to modify photos. I'm drawing maps, I'm making records for record companies, and then I'm designing characters and drawing more cartoons and things for books and for magazines. When I was at school, I was always drawing. I was drawing cartoon. This is a thing I found from primary school. I was always quite good at drawing. I wasn't the best drawer, but I had lots of ideas. So I was drawing, and my favourite subject would be art at school. So I was really keen on art and figuring things out and doing lots of things. After that, I went and did a degree in graphic design at college, where I learned lots about typography. So the poster there, lots of typography, again, more Photoshop stuff, but I also started doing little bits of illustration. I was taking stories and drawing little images to go along with them. When I left college, I wasn't entirely sure what to do. I got a job just working in a shop. I was lifting boxes around. But I built a little website, that's an old version of my website, where I would share my images online. People would see these images. Back then, websites and blogs were quite popular. There was no Instagram or anything like that, but people would leave comments, and my work started getting noticed out in the world a little bit. From there, I started making artwork for myself and started showing it in little art shows. This was a show in Edinburgh, which was quite good at getting my work seen by lots of people in Edinburgh. Just making up drawings, just figuring out my own style. After that, I moved to Glasgow with my wife. She got a job in Glasgow, and I got a job for a little design agency where my main job was designing websites. I wasn't particularly good at it, and I didn't particularly like working in an office, but I learned a lot about web design. I learned a lot about working with type. That company actually went out of business, and I took the decision that I was going to go full-time working for myself. So that's what I do now. I've done that ever since. I built a little studio at my house at first. Now I've got a studio outside my house. I've got a 2-year-old, so working at home is a lot more difficult. But I built a little studio, and all my work comes to me from outside sources. So people will email me asking for some work. So here's an example of one of the first pieces of client work I did. A magazine who'd seen my work in Edinburgh, it's the List magazine, got in touch. They had a short story they wanted illustrated. They wanted me to draw this character. I figured out how to do that, got in touch with them, sent it out, and then that was it. I got paid for drawing something for somebody else for the first time. How I work is a combination of digital and hand-drawn things. So I'll draw all these buildings on paper in black and white, scan them in, and then colour them using Photoshop on the computer, and then combine them all together. Because they're all live in Photoshop, I can move everything around and arrange them, and then you get a final product like this, which is a package for beer. So I've done lots of packaging and things like that, and using digital techniques combined with hand-drawn methods is mostly how I do most of my work. As you can see, there's lots of different parts to this. So there's hand-drawn elements in the middle there, but I also need to figure out exactly how to fit this artwork in a way that can send to a printer. That printer's going to figure out how to print it out, pick materials, and send it off. Once the work's done, I make an invoice, and this is the other part of the career. So thinking of my career as a freelancer, the main thing that's different for me compared to working at a normal job is if I don't get any work in, if I don't chase people up for money, I don't get paid. And that's a real difficult thing about being a freelancer, is trying to work out how to get money, how to survive on your own. So the good things about the job, there's lots of variety. If I want to go to the park at any time, I could leave here and go to the park if I want and draw a picture. And there's variety. I do lots and lots of different things. I draw big things, I draw little things, I make animations. But the minuses about the job, money's a big concern. It's always a concern. If I'm not getting work, I'm not getting paid, I can't pay my bills. So you need to be quite good at money if you're ever going to be a freelancer. And then there's a lot of admin. Again, most of my job isn't drawing pictures, it's emailing people, it's figuring out where my next project is, it's looking at my calendar, and there's all these different skills I need to have to survive. So the way that I get enough work in as a freelancer is I've learned how to be all sorts of different things. I can take workshops, I can give talks like this, I can design things, I can animate, I can use Photoshop, I can draw by hand, and all of those things gives me enough work that I can survive out in the world. Some of the other skills you need to be a pretty good accountant, you need to be a good time manager, you need to be good at writing contracts and understanding contracts. So paying attention to some money things, if you ever could see yourself working for yourself now, is a big thing, because I've had to learn it as a grown-up and it's been pretty tricky. The next things for me, I'm figuring out how to do animation and I'm working on some large-scale projects. So that's a little change from mostly sitting in my studio doing things. Now I'm hoping to get some moving work out in the world and to make some big things. But that's a wee overview of what I do. And how I use technology to do what is quite a traditional way of creating artwork. So thank you very much.